Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How y'all doing today? These animals are getting their grain portion for today. Got a lot of rain here in these past 24 hours. It rained nearly 2 inches, maybe even a little bit more. Weather Channel was saying we were supposed to get 1. We ended up getting just over 2, or around 2. A lot of water on this field right now. This is what happens when clay soil gets wet. Turns into a complete mud pit. But that's okay. Here in a few days it'll dry back up. It'll hold on to this water, so that's good. While it was raining yesterday, these cattle were cooping themselves up under a barn. So they were acting a bit agitated. They were jumping up on each other. I have a little Hereford bull who he had pastorella real bad when he was young. I named him Slowpoke. My biggest bull was following him around. My biggest steer was following him around, jumping up on his back for a few hours. Just him too. Well, maybe it was for an hour. Eventually, that little Hereford bull, his back legs gave away. He fell flat on his stomach, kind of sprawled. His back legs were out back behind him. He was stuck like that. So he was yeah. I had to run over there. I had to push his legs back underneath him to get him to stand back up. 5 minutes later, my bull does it to him again. My steer does that to him again. So I ran over there, I picked him up, then I put him outside. I separated him. So he's gonna be living he's gonna be living in a barn out front. This guy kept jumping up on him. So he's gonna be living out front in a barn. He's doing okay. I decided I'm gonna process him as well. So I have 2 processor animals now. Well, all I have to do to process an animal is I just take it's a less than 10-minute drive. I just take an animal over there. I give them a call. I give a processor a call. I drive. I put one of these animals in a trailer. Then I just haul them over there. Then they take care of everything. They'll put that animal down. They'll cut them up. I'll just get packages of meat like I'm at a grocery store. Yep. So they'll charge me about $1, or excuse me, they will charge me exactly $1.15 a pound per hanging poundage. So that's usually about 60% of what these animals weigh. So this is my other processor calf. So I have 2 processor animals now. I'm gonna end up having I'm gonna have a lot of beef, which is good. I like eating meat. I know some people like eating vegetables. I like eating meat. Well, I'm real good with food. I eat anything. I'll eat meat, I'll eat vegetables. I'll eat all meat, I'll eat all vegetables. I'll eat anything. So I'm gonna get I have 2 processor calves now. Got a lot of water on this field. When weather gets like this, I usually like putting some bedding in for these cattle. I also like putting in some so what I usually use is something called corn stover. Some people call it corn stover. Some people call it corn residue. Some people call it corn stalks. It's all just one thing. It's baled up corn. It's corn that's been they pulled all those ears off of them. They harvested all those corn ears. Then what's left over is a stalk. They have leaves on them. They got husks on them. Sometimes, like if a corn crop gets damaged, a farmer will just bale it. Like if there was real bad wind damage or hail damage or something happened to that corn, they'll just bale it. So there'll be corn in it as well. But when it's in season, It's about 80 pounds or $80 per 2,000 pounds. So a tonnage of it costs about $80. My last bale of corn stover that I had, corn residue that I had, I put it in as bedding for these animals when it got to that -5, -10 degrees. When it got to -5, -10, there was also a severe amount of wind. It was like an Arctic blast or something that they were calling it on Weather Channel. But it was a lot of wind, really cold. So my last bale of corn stover that I had, corn stalks that I had, corn residue that I had, I just pulled it apart in their barn form as bedding to give these animals a real warm place to lay for a day, lay around for a day. Okay, so these animals, if weather gets that bad, if weather gets real bad, these animals will get sick. A bottle of antibiotics costs like $275 for a bottle of antibiotics like that. 100 milliliters of it. 100 milliliters of it will, it costs about $20 to treat a sick animal with a bottle of good antibiotics. So if weather gets that severe, I found that I actually save money by just giving these animals good bedding. I had 0 animals get sick after that. I had 0 animals. I've had an animal slip on mud over another animal, and then they both died. I've had that happen too. So that bedding keeps the ground firm for them. Corn residue, need to have more of a stockpile. Long story short, note to self, I need to have more corn residue in storage this time around, because, well, corn residue, it also has another use for me. Like let's say this year, I fed a bale of corn stover because I had put in right when I put in this grass, I put in, I think it was close to somewhere between about 75 pounds of nitrogen on this field per acre. So that grass, weather was real good too. We had like just perfect weather for growing grass. So this grass was growing in a real hot annual ryegrass. This winter forage that I planted, it's known for having it's known for being a pretty hot grass when it's first growing in. So these animals were spurting. They had a diarrhea, scouring. They were just having real bad diarrhea. So part of that was due to their grass being too wet. There was a lot of moisture in that grass. Part of that was because that grass had a lot of protein in it, a lot of nitrogen. Because I had fertilized it it was growing in hot. I mean, that grass was growing in like it was growing in probably 6-7 inches a month. It was just growing. So that grass was real hot. When that was happening, these animals were spurting. They were packing on weight, but they were having diarrhea. I was seeing diarrhea in some of these animals. So I fed a bale of corn stover them. These animals ate it. Corn stover is real dry. It's got real low protein. It's so when these animals get that real wet, real high protein food, they'll actually eat that corn stover too. They really enjoyed it. When I fed these animals a bale of corn residue at that point, they went after it. They really liked it. So I also feed corn stover at times when necessary. If I see these animals having real severe diarrhea, I'll feed it to them. Animals are doing good. I got a second processor calf. That second processor calf out front, Slowpoke, my little Hereford, my Hereford bull. When he was young, he had pastorella real bad. I think it messed up his lungs. He's a real slow fella. He's just real slow. He move around real slow. He's kind of underdeveloped when I clean the animals' manure on a daily basis, so I get to take a look at their poop. I was realizing that one animal looked like he was showing symptoms of having too little protein, or excuse me, that they were showing, because I had zero idea who it was at that point. I had one animal that was showing symptoms of having too little protein in their diet. So I've been taking mental note of that. So yeah, I figured I'd have to, well, I just took mental note of that. This yesterday when I separated him, I put him out front. He pooped in the tractor barn. So it's him. His poop is a little clumped up, like he's having too little protein in his diet. So it was him. So I got two birds with one stone. I got a second processor calf. I also found which calf was having too little protein in their diet. But him, when he was young, I actually had to give him like 5 shots of Baytril. He had Pastorella real bad. He had to get 5 shots of an antibiotic called Baytril, one a day for 5 days. He nearly died. He also got a shot of Banamine. I thought he was gonna die. He was real bad. His fever was up to 106. Maybe he has brain damage. Who knows? But he's real slow. Yeah. So, yep. Got him separated. Got him on feed too. I put his feed in a bucket for him, so I'm able to see how much he's eating. He's eating enough to be healthy. He just eats real slow. He walks around real slow. So I got him separated because these animals, they'll push him out the way to get to their food. He's too weak to really do anything. So, yep, he gets pushed away from food. He eats real slow. It's fine though. In terms of a processor calf, he's perfect because very, very, very low energy, barely moves at all. Still eats enough food. Even if I only get him to 1,000 pounds, he's a Hereford bull. Even if he only gets to 1,000 pounds in a year, that's fine with me. I still, his beef is just as good, so his beef will be just fine. These animals are just about done eating. They're about to go walking off to go graze this field. That's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.